have been following very closely this story about Haiti and the American-Kenyan cooperation to intervene in that country. And it has confirmed my fears. Because I was wondering, how did it happen that William Ruto just woke up one day and volunteered to send 1,000 policemen to Haiti, and then things ran so fast that it was supposed to be authorized at the United Nations Security Council, and recently Joe Biden urged the UN to move with speed to veto Kenyan policemen to go to Haiti. I was wondering, because anytime you see a cooperation between Joe Biden and William Samoei Ruto, there is something. So I've been following up very closely. The only story that we have been given back in the country, in Kenya, is that that country is riddled with unrest. The streets have been taken over by gangs. And so William Samoei Ruto volunteered, as always, a good president, a man who wants to be in Haiti. He wants to intervene in Niger coup. He wants to intervene in Sudanese coup. He wants to be everywhere. The only place he doesn't want to be is the Russian-African summit. And you know why? Your guess is as good as mine. So I found out shocking revelations, because we've only had or looked at one side of the coin. We turned the coin, and I realized that there are more than meets the eye. In 2021, Haitian president that goes by the name Jovenel Moise was assassinated, and his place was taken in an acting capacity by someone called Ariel Henry. So Ariel Henry has been the acting president or the president to this date. Ever since Jovenel Moise was assassinated, that country has never been at peace. And there is a group that is pointing an accusing finger to the United States, that they are the ones that is fueling the tension. I was reading this story in a newspaper called The Hill. They say Haitian-American leaders call on Biden to dump Ariel Henry. So Ariel Henry is the president, and this group is calling upon Biden to dump him because it seems Joe Biden has been giving him a lot of support. Joe Biden recognizes his presidency and the regime and the authority. So it goes ahead to say that a group of Haitian-American elected officials is calling on President Biden to withdraw support for a Kenyan-led peacekeeping mission in Haiti, which they say will bolster acting President Ariel Henry's grip on power. That when they get there, this will only aid him to entrench himself there. This is the group, the National Haitian-American Elected Officials Network, the NHAEON, and Family Action Network Movement, FANM, on Friday wrote a letter to Biden and Secretary of State Antony Blinken with this request. So this is not just something that they speak. They made it formal by writing a letter to Biden to stop supporting Ariel Henry. And this is what they say: that any military intervention supporting Haiti's corrupt, repressive, unelected regime will likely to exacerbate its current political crisis to a catastrophic one. That is what they're saying. that is the other side of the coin that I wanted to understand. In a nutshell, this group is accusing Ariel Henry that he's been using these gangs or the state, the precarious state, to maintain power. Because when there is a lot of tension in the country, then people cannot go for an election. Then he will get support. And one person who has been supporting this regime is the USA. So how come US did not take their military or paramilitary to the country? It is obvious that they had been accused of having a hand in that nation. So what did he do? Joe Biden decided to use William Samoei Ruto, because obviously the status in Haiti is the same as ours. It is only that in our state we have not let it to go to the dogs. It is a little bit stable, but our government is supported by the USA against the chagrin of many Kenyans who are suffering courtesy of the high taxes and removal of the subsidies and all these things. So this group is saying that if at all the American-Kenyan-led military intervention will be allowed, they cite three things that will happen. They say that number one, it will further entrench the regime. Atapata ile nguvu and the audacity to get grip. It will deepen Haiti's political crisis further. And then the third one, they're saying it will generate significant civilian casualties, because our Kenyan police is known for brutality. And maybe this is the reason why Joe Biden selected William Samoei Ruto. They have done this before when Kenyans were running on the streets to lament this government and to express their displeasure. The police was unleashed on them on the streets, and many were killed, many were maimed. A report was given today just how many people died and how the intensity of brutality in Kisumu and Nyanza. So this is the same police that is carried to Haiti. This group is asking Joe Biden to stop his support. But do you think he will stop? He will not, because on Friday, their Secretary of Defense that goes by the name Lloyd Austin signed a 5-year contract of a whopping $1 million that will be supporting this quote-unquote peacekeeping. And you wonder what is really happening. This is a deal between Joe Biden and William Samoei Ruto, because US could not go there. The vector was pointing at them as the main cause of instability in that country. So the police is going to be unleashed to beat people, especially those who are not pro Ariel Henry. Kama unapinga hiyo serikali, unaenda kutwangwa just the same way they beat people during the demonstrations. It tells you that America will always support one who dances to their tune. This is the reason why he could not talk about brutality and murder of innocent people. And you will see, wait for just a few days, when Kenyan policemen will land there, you will know what I'm talking about. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is the hidden plan. And if you've seen what is happening of late, William Ruto knew very well two areas that he had to venture in. One is the climate. He has placed himself as a man who is really concerned about climate change. And recently when he hosted the African Climate Summit, he got a lot of money. Our president knows where money is, and he will go for it, because US will always support him. And then with this military and police intervention, there must be money. When he went to the UN meeting, he gave a keynote speech, and he said that the military intervention in Haiti must be supported with the resources, just like resources were marshaled during the Russia-Ukraine war. And he has now gotten money, $100 million. It tells you that there is money, so he knows how to benefit. So ladies and gentlemen, as our policemen will be flying to Haiti, the mission is known. They are going to support Ariel Henry, that president that the others call illegitimate. He's a brutal president. And whatever they're going to do is a replica of what happened during the demonstration. People complain that William Ruto was never legitimately elected. And anybody who questions him will be dealt with thoroughly. That is what happened. And so what William Ruto did, or whatever the policemen did, was like a rehearsal to see how to deal with the people on the street, because later they were to be taken to Haiti. Lately did we know that people were being butchered and they were being beaten, and America was very quiet because there was a bigger mission for them. They were on internship in Kisumu, retrieving people from the houses, killing them and maiming them. So we know, so that when we get all this news from Al Jazeera and the CNN, BBC, we won't be shocked, because already we have been warned. I'm waiting to see whether Biden and the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, will speak about this. But this is a relationship that is targeting something. And I know, like many other countries, we have hand-picked presidents, hand-picked leaders who must listen and act American script